Well, hello, everyone. As promised, we are thrilled to bring you our very first special guest, Peterborough's one and only library director, Corinne Chronopoulos. Hey, Corinne, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
So Peterborough has this beautiful new library, and I say beautiful only having seen it from the outside because confession time, I have about 50 books checked out, and I don't really want to step back into the library without bringing at least half of them with me. I feel like that's a good
Two
number.
thirds.
A
Two
third?
thirds.
Two-thirds? Okay.
Two
Well,
thirds.
well, I'm hoping I'll get it together before long, but I've heard
The
it's
old library
marvelous.
guilt problem.
I've heard it's marvelous. And how are you?
It
How are you
is.
settling in?
I'm really good. If you had asked me last week, even, I'd still be crying and in the fetal position. But it's it's starting to kind of come together, and I unpacked part of my office, and we're getting into a groove. So we're good.
Are you
And
joining
Zoe,
us? Yeah.
you should know there are no fines, no overdue
Yeah,
fines.
right.
So, it's really no fear involved with overdue books. Just
It's
saying.
it's just like a principle. I've just had them for so long at this point. I checked them out before the library move, to kick off our
Yeah.
homeschooling year, and it's like I just need to unburden myself as well as the guilt factor of not wanting to take any more out. So are you joining us
Yeah.
from your new office?
Yep. These are the
Full
new
of light?
digs.
Nice.
Yeah. Nice light. And I've got one window that looks into the library itself. So I can
Oh,
kind of
cool.
get up and see, what's going on out there.
Yeah, survey the realm.
Yeah,
Cool.
exactly.
Yeah. Nice. Well, that's actually a good segue into my next question, which is just about the magnificent architecture. Like, I grew up going to a lot of really really fantastically designed libraries. The in Townsend, the the original library, which I grew up going to, it's still probably my favorite building in the town. It's just this little brick building, but
Hmm.
just something about it with there's like ivy creeping up the side, and there's like very long. It's like kind of gothic almost, with like long narrow windows, and that are very high ceilings. Kind of like some
Hmm.
sort of fake marble floor in the upstairs, and then the downstairs was like there was like a room with bars, like a jail,
Oh,
and it was
cool.
very cement and strange. Yeah, it was very unique. And in school we had awesome ones, and I'm just so impressed that because I mean people build buildings all the time,
Hmm.
and that's a thing that happens, but people don't put the kind of just absolute care and craft of design into it than we got
Hmm.
here. So tell us a little bit about that process. Were there like multiple designs submitted? Like, did you come up with all of this?
I actually
um
designed the entire thing.
yeah, that's
I'm also
I
an
was
architect.
wondering if this was like all
Um,
at your direct instruction.
I know. No. So first off, the reason we were able to work with such great architects, and our architect firm is Ambeha.
Mhm.
They're top quality, but it's because this is a private-public partnership in terms of funding, right? So the town put in $3 million, and then through private donations, we raised a further $5.5 million. So it's because of that private piece that we were able to, push quality up a little bit more. So what we did
For
is we
sure.
started
Yeah.
out, you put out an RFQ and you kind of say, this is what we want. These are the guiding principles for our building. And then you get submissions from architects. We had 5 different firms submit. We interviewed them all with a group. I don't remember who all was on that committee, but there was like 6 people. And then we made our selection. So this group is from Boston, and they're just fantastic to work with. Um, I'd say the best thing about this firm is that there was no stupid question.
Mm-hmm.
You could ask anything and ask it multiple times, and they would just, pause and just say, that's a great, just make you feel heard and
Yeah.
unpack the question. So I think because of that trust and kind of respect for the group of the building committee that they were working with, it helped us to just go through with absolute detail in every single piece.
Yeah.
It's from ventilation systems to lighting to what materials are we going to pull from the historic building through the new renovation, and how can we push the height here, and what about the site levels, the grading and all of that. So there was just so much detail. It was a really, really fun process. I learned
Yeah,
a ton.
that's like all fascinating stuff that like you just don't
Yeah.
normally always think of, you know?
Oh my
Um,
gosh, yeah.
yeah. And like I think I said it to you already, but the like, I followed this whole library process from the beginning, you know, watching the construction every day, driving by from the outside, but also like, the plans, the previews, the virtual
Mhm.
things and all that. And I was still just like blown away walking into it. Like, I mean, just
That's great.
it exceeds all expectations. So hopefully Zoe gets over her guilt soon
Yeah, you
and
got to
goes
come
in
in,
there.
Zoe. I mean, that's
Anybody
how
else
I
out
feel
there who
too.
is guilty, try to let go of that and go see the library.
Yeah. Yeah. It is really grand. I mean, it's just it's the right size. It's not too big, but it is
Yeah,
pretty grand. It's actually almost the same footprint as the old library, which is amazing because
that
it
is
feels
amazing.
huge, but
Yeah.
it's actually pretty close to the original square footage. Um,
Wow.
and it just has this. Everyone says, "I just feel comfortable here. I want to
Uh-huh.
hang out here," and
Yeah.
that's good design, right? It's just a building
Yes.
that you want to be in. So I'm really, really happy with it. And shout out to Tina Kriebel because her and I, from the point we got to construction documents, so that's kind of when you finish, you know what you're building, right? And
Hmm.
then the real fun begins. You actually build and you meet throughout that whole process to check in. And there's so many decisions to be made. And Tina was really, we were partners in crime through the whole thing.
That's awesome.
Awesome. So we've joked a bunch of times over the past couple of years that, you know, our last Monadnock Underground event at the library was our release party for our second quarterly magazine in the historic piece of the library
Mm-hmm.
that remains. And so we've joked not only that, that was the last thing that we shut down the world, because that was really the last event that happened before
Right.
everything
It was
closed
in
for COVID.
March.
Yeah.
It was, yeah,
Yeah.
March 2020.
Yep.
But also that we've joked that the library decided to keep that historic piece for the history that Monadnock Underground made with our release parties,
Because we
Right.
had the event in
because
there.
we had
Yeah.
the event in that
Exactly.
Yes,
in that
we've
section of
been
the library.
claiming this all over town. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually need to get your oil paintings done because we
Yes.
can add those above the fireplace.
Awesome. But
Yes.
we are there's new event space in this new library, I hear tell, not having seen it with my own eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Um
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
and Monadnock Underground is planning a return.
Yes. So we will be co-sponsoring a writers. What are we calling it, Chris? Writers Night Out, or
Yeah, I think we should call it Writers Night Out. Yeah, once a month.
so we'll
Sounds
put
great.
it'll be on the other end of the building. So the building kind of has two bookends. There's the historical piece, and then the other side's the community wing, and that can be used when we're closed. So we kind of partition off the main library, but that flexible space can still be used after hours. So we'll put all of our after hour events on that side.
So
Yeah, I
you're going to
love
need
that. We
two
used to do you
sorry.
remember Zoe? We used to do the events at the Bow Library. These were like
Yeah.
statewide gatherings, and so people were coming from all over. And Bow was kind of a central location where somebody lived, and they had a setup like that where
Mm-hmm.
the library could go home, and
Right.
the event space was there, and you just like lock up and clean up after you're done. But like,
Yeah.
tell us so what's available for people to have for events. I mean, there's that glorious big room, right?
Yep. So the big room is called the 1833 room, and that's kind of our main event space. It's very affordable to rent, but it's rent only. So that's the one space that is not free to anyone, except the library, obviously. So it's $100 for a 2-hour block, or if you rent it after hours and you need staff, then it would be $150. So that room could be used for, um, you know, your family Christmas party. It could be used for a lecture, an event, any time of event. You could seat 100 people in there. We have round tables, rectangle tables. It's very flexible. And then downstairs, there's a classroom that has these really cool tables that actually are charged, so you can move them up or down just with a little button. And they also
Wow.
flip, so you can kind of flip them, push them to the side. So we tried to
Nice.
make everything kind of modular. And then the boardroom seats 12, and that is meant for, board meetings, kind of a traditional organizational meeting. The bottom rooms are free to any 501c3 nonprofit, and they
Nice.
are booked. We've had so many groups in there. It's
Oh
really
wow,
cool
that's
to see
awesome.
it
So people
used.
are already getting in there.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, that's
And
awesome.
then let's see, there's two other rooms. They are in the main kind of library proper, and those are small meeting rooms. So if you are tutoring someone or you have a meeting of 4 to 6 people, you can rent that room as well, and those are totally free.
Awesome. Awesome. That's so cool. I mean, that was definitely. I mean, I think as everyone knows, one thing about the other libraries, just like the spaces weren't. There was space in there, but it wasn't quite as
Yeah,
dynamic as it is now.
you're being
If you
very
want to,
kind. That's true.
yeah. Well, it
I
was,
think it's important to be kind to the old building. I don't like to
yeah,
trash it, but
yeah.
yeah, the
No, I mean,
meeting room
it had
it
charm.
wasn't
It was a
great.
charming building.
Yeah, but this is a huge improvement, and it's they're beautiful spaces, and I just think it's great that they're mostly free or very affordable. So
Yeah,
it's really
definitely.
That is
Yeah,
awesome. Brings
yeah. So
back
what we're planning,
high school memories of tutoring in the tutoring room in our library.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's important you have a space for tutors that feels kind of safe and public, right? So it's kind of there's the glass doors, but also it's private and confidential. So it kind of
yeah.
needs to be both. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so for our event, this will probably be when this episode comes out, the first time we're announcing it. It's going to be the first one we're going to do is kind of a soft launch in November. It'll be Thursday night, November 18th, 5:30 to 7. And that'll be in the 1833 room. And from then on, though, so the second Tuesday of November is Veterans Day, and but that's going to be our regular time from then on. So starting in
Hmm.
December, we'll come in on looks like the 9th, and we'll do the second Thursday from there. And this is an open mic, so anybody is welcome to come and read. We will have some Monadnock Underground writers. If nothing else, we'll have ourselves there
Hmm.
prepared to read. And but we very much encourage members of the public,
Hmm.
whether you've had any contact with us before or not, to come in and meet us and meet some other writers and read some stuff, even if it's a work in progress. Like this is supposed to be very dynamic and fun. So
Yeah.
we'll have some coffee and tea, and it'll be a nice time once a month.
Yeah. I'm really excited about it. I think it's really important. There's some kind of open open ground where anyone that wants to get their work out can just read and experience that. So we'll
Yeah,
we'll definitely be pumping it up huge here.
yeah, and the reality is that that idea has always been kind of critical to why we started Monadnock Underground in the first place. Was
Right.
just to encourage more people writing. So with the new space and a regular date, I mean, like these are dreams of ours that are coming true.
Yeah.
So it's
Yay.
pretty awesome. All right, so hypothetical question, Corinne,
Hmm.
a little bit outside of the library realm, but like at some point in the next couple of decades, because we like to think in long spans of time sometimes, here at Go Monadnock. Um, this might be the first time actually we've done this, but so far, but you know let's say centralized authority, it breaks down a little bit. Localities and states and regions are left a little bit more to their own devices. Like, could there be like a small regional, like neo-feudal fiefdom, like with Peterborough at its center?
Hmm. I mean, maybe. You
All right.
mean, I mean, this is very It's a tough question, Chris.
Yeah, I know.
It's very out of nowhere. The library is nice,
Yeah.
but
But could there be a fiefdom? Yeah. I mean, anything is possible. And I hope if that happens that the farmers are all in charge.
I hope so too.
That it's revolving around that.
Yeah.
I
No,
think
you're
I
right.
think the more important piece of this question is, should New Boston be allowed in?
Yeah, we did talk about that in the first part of the episode. Actually, is whether or not. But see, there's complications with New Boston.
Are they in
I
that
want
region?
Corinne's
I mean,
input.
Oh
Right?
yeah. What do you
well,
think?
I'm all about including everyone. So,
Yeah. Okay. So
you know,
as
that's,
expansive a territory as we
I'd have
can.
to, as many farms as we can get in
Yeah.
would be the key, right? Because we need the food source.
Right. Yes. Absolutely. Yep. Totally with you. All right. Great. We just wanted. We figured the audience, as you know, the audience, as we discussed before we got on the air, would definitely,
I mean,
want to know.
if you want to get apocalyptic, I'm right with you.
Yeah.
It's
Right
all
on.
about
Hey,
food
that's
storage,
good to know.
water. You got to think about your water supply.
Yeah. Well, to that point, that great Cold Springs deal with Jaffrey. That's kind of like the first step there. Securing additional water for the entire territory. So.
I mean, someday we're going back to candles. So
Yeah, right. I
you
mean,
know,
it certainly seems that way.
it's gonna
It certainly
happen.
seems that way. Yeah. So, but I bet you the new library will be candle compatible. That we will just have to exercise a lot more fire safety caution.
Well, we are totally on biomass, so as long as we can get wood chips and we've got solar on the roof,
Oh wow!
we might be able to keep the library running.
So you're
this could be
prepared for the apocalypse
Parliament could be
at the
here,
library.
right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. This could be
Right
like
there.
the building.
In the
Yeah.
1833 room.
Yeah. Oh, I love
Yep.
this.
Which has lots
Good.
of windows, so you could be scouting your perimeter. It's right near the river.
Optimistic for the future. Yeah.
I told you, I can go there.
Yeah. No, I'm glad I asked. I
know it's a comfort to know that the library is there for us in this matter as well.
Good.
Well, anything else exciting coming up in the library that you want to share with us?
Yeah, one thing. So we have a couple new book clubs that we formed. So we've got our traditional kind of literary book club that's still running. But I started a new club. It's called The Interior Life. It's very interior. I think you should
intriguing.
Come.
Yeah.
And we're going to read anything by the great mystics. Basically, it's
I like that.
exploration of spirituality, earth and science kind of book club. So our first book is Einstein's God by Krista Tippett. Thought that'd be a good kind of way to jump in. And then I'm thinking we might read Art and Physics by Leonard Shlain as our second read. I don't know if you've read that book yet, but it's fantastic.
No, I haven't read either of those. That's awesome.
So it's kind of a philosophical, I don't know. We'll see where it goes, but I'm excited about it. So we will be meeting the first Tuesday of every month at 6 o'clock.
Cool. I'm in for that.
And then we also started a book club for families. So it's for families to kind of read a book together. It's kind of towards grade school level. So maybe, first through fifth-ish, depending on your child's reading level. And, I'd have to look on our website on the exact details. I'm not ready. Hold on. I'm going to tell you.
That's okay. This happened a bunch in the first part of the episode too. And I was like, when we're really successful, we'll have like the producer guy, who's like off the air, who's just like, yo, Jerry,
hey.
like, you got that fact for me?
Exactly. They all got one of those guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see. Liz, oh no. Families read together. First meeting is November 17th at 4 p.m. And it's for first through fourth graders, and they can pick up the book at the kids' help desk.
That is awesome.
Very cool.
2 new exciting programs. Well, good luck with the podcast and everything you guys are doing. It's super entertaining. I've been checking out your website, and I look forward to your next publication too.
Awesome. Yes, thank you so much, and thanks for being our first guest. It's been a real pleasure.
All right, let's do this again. Talk about the apocalypse a little bit more.
We will. We'll bring you on periodically for updates.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right.
Sounds
All
great.
right. Take care.
All right, thanks. Bye.